Hi guys, JT here, and today I'm bringing you some information on the Humble Bundle Golden Tales Bundle of April 2026. To help me answer the question, should you buy it? By using links in the description below, you'll gain access to this bundle and support the channel in the process. Before I begin, I'd like to thank you the viewers for watching my silly videos. I hope they're helpful. Most importantly, knowing that you're watching it means the world. But first, a word from our sponsor, JT After Dark. You've read the threads, you've seen the warnings, but you haven't heard them like this. I'm JT. I take the internet's most terrifying stories and give them a voice. From Reddit's deepest archives to the legends that haunt the web, I bring the horror to life. Join me on JT After Dark. Subscribe now and let's see what's hiding in the shadows. Anyway, let's get into this. At number 1 we have The Invincible, a narrative-driven first-person adventure that transforms Stanley Lolham's 1960s sci-fi novel into a retro-futuristic exploration of alien mystery. You step into the role of Yasna, a scientist navigating the eerie, desolate terrain of Regis 3 in search of her missing crew, uncovering unsettling truths along the way. This game is unique for its visuals and thematic fidelity to its source material. The retro aesthetics of 50s and 60s futurism turn the alien landscape into a living painting of deep coral reds, metallic structures, and surreal weather. As you explore, the game's retro gadgets, like LED spotted trackers and manual-focused binoculars, immerse you in an era of Soviet-inspired space race wonder. Paired with an evocative score, every step feels heavy with anticipation. The story shines in its rumination of humanity's hubris and our tendency to force understanding onto the unknown. Conversations between Yasna and her prickly commander Novik balance frustration and curiosity, drawing you into their unraveling relationship. While the themes of technological arrogance and ethical dilemmas are compelling, the game occasionally over-explains, breaking the immersive subtlety that the world so masterfully builds. Navigating Regis 3 sometimes devolves into trial and error, with unclear pathways interrupting the flow. Still, the tactile realism of Yasna's actions, gripping rock ledges, opening heavy doors, grounds you in her struggle. The Invincible stumbles at times, but its imaginative retelling of Lem's work and thoughtful design make it an evocative, worthwhile journey into the unknown. If you enjoy sci-fi adventure, this is one to experience. At number 2 we have In Stars and Time, a turn-based RPG that traps you in an endless time loop only you can remember. As Sifrin, you and your found family party are on a mission to defeat a tyrannical king, but just when victory is within reach, time rewinds, forcing you to start over. With each loop, you piece together new strategies, unravel deeper mysteries, and fight to break free from the cycle. This game delivers an emotionally charged story with a unique cast of characters, each carrying their own struggles and secrets. It does not just explore time loops, it examines how past experiences shape identity, relationships, and resilience. The writing is some of the best in any medium, seamlessly blending humor, heartbreak, and existential dread. Visually, its black and white pixel art is striking, with expressive character portraits that bring every interaction to life. The music, while simple, amplifies key emotional moments. Gameplay revolves around turn-based combat with a rock-paper-scissors mechanic that, while easy to grasp, cleverly ties into the themes of repetition and strategy. The repetitive nature of the loops might feel frustrating at times, but that's the point. It mirrors Sifrin's own exhaustion, making the eventual breakthroughs even more powerful. If you love narrative-driven indie RPGs like Undertale or Omori, this game is a must-play. It is a beautifully crafted experience that'll stay with you long after the credits roll. Prepare to laugh, cry, and question everything as you fight for a future worth remembering. At number 3 we have Season, A Letter to the Future, a meditative third-person adventure game where you explore a dying world, journal its fading beauty, and quietly reflect on what's about to be lost. You play as a young person from a hillside village, cycling down into the lush Ting Valley to document what may be the end of an era. Your tools are simple: a camera, an audio recorder, your journal, and your curiosity. Gameplay revolves around observation, design, and philosophy. You're free to photograph, sketch, and record sounds while arranging journal pages however you like. The process of documenting is central, and while it can become repetitive, it's also uniquely personal and satisfying. The game does not force creativity, but rewards thoughtfulness. Encounters with characters like the soulful artist Matyora bring depth and gravitas, and the voice acting throughout elevates the emotional weight of your journey. Cycling is a joy in itself. Long, quiet rides through abandoned temples and misty roads feel poetic, though you'll often interrupt them to capture the world. Visually, the game is breathtaking, clearly inspired by Impressionist art and Ghibli films, but oddly mismatched character models sometimes break the immersion. Season is less about solving puzzles or making big choices, and more about internalizing a world's final moments. If you're patient, curious, and philosophical, this game will stay with you long after the season ends. And yes, you wish you could leaf through other players' journals too. And number 4 we have Broken Sword, Shadow of the Templars, Reforged. A beautifully restored version of the 1996 point-and-click classic that blends historical conspiracy, globe-trotting adventure, and dry wit into one unforgettable journey. You play as George Stobart, an American tourist-turned-investigator, after a bombing outside a Parisian cafe draws you into a tangled web of Knights Templar myths and shadowy organizations. From the sunlit streets of Paris to the ruins of Irish castles, ancient Syrian alleys, and Spanish haciendas, every location bursts with updated high-resolution detail. The new 4K visuals retain the original's charm, while adding smoother animations and vivid, emotionally rich backdrops. If you're returning from the original, you'll appreciate how faithfully everything's been remastered. If you're new, this is the best way to meet George and his journalist partner Nico Collard, even if Nico sadly remains a sideline presence. Puzzles stay true to the original, meaning they're thoughtful, rewarding, and occasionally brutal. Yes, the infamous goat puzzle is still here. Thankfully, a new hint system helps you avoid getting stuck for hours. Dialogue is sharp, the cast delightfully eccentric, and while some voice recordings show their age, particularly Nico's, George's performance remains pitch perfect. You'll find plenty of options to tailor the experience, from switching to classic visuals to fine-tuning subtitles and controls. While missing some content from the director's cut, Reforged still stands as a loving tribute to a genre-defining classic. If you're up for a smart, stylish mystery with a sense of humor, this adventure deserves your attention. And number 5 we have Harold Halibut, a lovingly handcrafted narrative adventure where you play as a lab assistant on a retro-futuristic underwater colony ship turned city. It is part game, part stop-motion movie, all charm. You step into Harold's odd shoes as he shuffles between errands, conversations, and bizarre discoveries aboard the Fedora. The world feels like a 70s sci-fi diorama come to life, filled with janky gadgets, colorful districts, and quirky characters, from a robe-wearing teacher to hot dog-loving bureaucrats. The craftsmanship is jaw-dropping, from detailed sets to cinematic camera work, making even mundane scenes feel special. Despite the stunning visuals and heartwarming story, Harold Halibut runs long. You'll spend around 10 to 12 hours mostly walking and talking, sometimes a little too slowly. Think of it as a playable Wes Anderson film, stretched over several episodes. There's no combat or puzzles, just curious exploration and emotional growth. Still, the writing shines. You'll watch Harold grow from a passive errand boy into someone who asserts himself, forms touching bonds, and dares to change his life. The surreal moments, a surprise musical number, a mime's one-man show, or an infiltration mission backed by Bella Xiao, give the game a distinct identity. Yes, it could have been trimmed, but if you're in the mood for something tender, funny, and genuinely original, Harold Halibut delivers. It's not just about finding home, it's about finding a place in the world that never quite made sense to begin with, and you'll be glad you took the ride. And number 6 we have As Dusk Falls, a gripping interactive drama that plays like a comic book you can't put down. You don't control a character in the traditional sense. Instead, you make decisions and complete quick-time events that shape the story. While this might sound limiting, the format is surprisingly compelling. Once you're in, all you want is to see what happens next. The story kicks off with a tense motel standoff, intertwining the fates of two very different families. The Walkers dealing with everyday issues, and the Halts desperate for cash. Saying more will spoil the experience, and trust me, you don't want that. Visually, it's a motion comic, with real actors' still images transitioning between scenes. It sounds jarring, but you quickly get used to it, especially with sharp writing and excellent voice acting. Yes, that is Adam Jensen's voice. You'll care about these characters, agonize over choices, and feel the consequences. Even the QTEs, including a hilarious pair of dishwashing moments, add tension. And while multiplayer exists, you're better off playing solo for full immersion. But it's not perfect. Static faces sometimes break emotional moments, a few choices can be refined, and the ending, let's be blunt, it's pretty bad. Everyone gets the same final scene, no matter your choices. It feels like a betrayal of everything you've built. Still, As Dusk Falls is a standout narrative experience. If you want a game where your choices matter, until the very end anyway, this one's worth your time. Just brace yourself for that last scene. At number 7 we have Suzerain, a text-based adventure in the intricate world of political decision-making. You embody Anton Rain, becoming the president of Swordland, shaping his character and policies. The game, akin to a choose-your-own-adventure book, unfolds on a map where you make dialogue choices leading to economic reports, bill signings, and more. Despite its simplicity, this design complements Suzerain's immersive feel, resembling the engagement of reading a gripping novel. The narrative spans almost 50 years, with meticulous details making Swordland more than a fictional backdrop. It becomes your homeland. Even if politics isn't your usual interest, Suzerain establishes a deep connection, especially during an economic recession. Suzerain excels at political tightrope walking, offering micromanaging decisions, unexpected twists, and constant balancing acts. Interactions with in-game family add depth, creating a book-like experience that's both captivating and familiar. Each character introduced has a distinct personality, and while lacking voice acting, the exceptional writing fosters personal connections. Suzerain is highly replayable, with myriad of choices and consequences, encouraging exploration of different ideologies and playstyles. Whether focusing on the free market or communism, each choice significantly alters the game, providing a satisfying and varied experience. Suzerain's unique choose-your-own-adventure style, intricate narrative, and replayability offer a compelling journey into the challenges of leadership. Despite occasional slow moments, the game's riveting narrative and engaging setting make it a standout title, and serves as a testament in interactive storytelling. At number 8 we have South of the Circle, a narrative-driven adventure that blurs the line between game and cinematic storytelling. Set in the Cold War era 1960s, you step into the life of Peter, a Cambridge academic, stranded in the Antarctic after a crash. The game weaves between two timelines, Peter's desperate survival in the present and his budding relationship with Clara in the past, all underpinned by socio-political tensions and personal struggles. This is not your typical video game. Instead of fast-paced action or deep interactivity, South of the Circle offers minimal gameplay, focusing on dialogue choices that reflect Peter's emotional responses rather than traditional decisions. You guide him through introspective moments, shaping his reactions and memories in a way that feels more like passive observation than active participation. Visually, the game is stunning, with a minimalist color block art style that creates evocative landscapes and seamless transitions. Its dreamlike aesthetic, paired with an emotive soundtrack, adds to the game's cinematic allure. The performances by Gwilym Lee and Olivia Vanal as Peter and Clara are standout, lending depth and charisma to their complex relationship. However, South of the Circle stumbles in its character work. Peter's flaws, while intentional, make him difficult to root for, especially as the narrative relies heavily on empathy for his journey. The lack of meaningful player agency might leave you feeling detached as the story unfolds on its own terms. While the presentation is polished and the performance is captivating, South of the Circle struggles to balance its narrative ambition with engaging gameplay, leaving you more of a spectator than a participant. And that's all for this bundle. This bundle is an absolute win for narrative junkies and indie fans alike. Getting heavy hitters like In Stars and Time and As Dusk Falls for just $18 is a total steal, basically a legendary loot drop for your Steam library. Whether you're vibing with the handcrafted claymation of Harold Halibut or getting lost in the sci-fi atmosphere of the Invincible, this collection is pure gold. Don't sleep on it. It's a good game for your wallet. In any case, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and if this video was helpful, feel free to leave a like and subscribe, and maybe consider buying the channel a coffee. From the bottom of my heart, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.